Time for some fantasy stuff because I've been getting bored of speaking about high school romance anime. Here are 10 romance isekai fantasy anime that you must watch. Here you go. Number 10, Spirit Chronicles.
リオ。リオ？珍しい名前ね。移民の子なので。そっか。だから髪の色が黒いのね。
Here's your good old Slumdog Millionaire story, but this time the Slumdog is way too overpowered for his own good. Like every isekai story, this starts when a poor innocent bastard of our world gets thrown into a fantasy world where he gets enrolled in a royal academy with several other royal children. But guess what? The royal children hate this new commoner and cast him off. But you know what they say, the poorer you are, the more girls you can get. At least that's the theory in anime.
ありがとうございます。いいえ、むしろこっちが謝らないといけない立場だもの。
Spirit Chronicles knows how to balance some great action with its great world building. Even though the character tropes are very similar to a ton of other isekai anime you've watched, the romance and the sudden, no, I don't want that, the girl I like marrying another guy formula in the last 2 episodes work really great. So you came here for some isekai anime, right? And since you cannot get isekai'd in this lifetime, the closest thing you can do is play a game that'll grant you your own band of champions. Ladies and gentlemen, let's move to the world of Raid Shadow Legends. Raid has a ton of champions. All of these champions come from unique factions, and today we're going to speak about my favorite faction, the High Elves. Wait, you haven't heard of the High Elves? Just let me give you a quick recap of their backstory because these elves have done a lot in their lifetime. Their homeland, Eravia, survived the fall of the Lizardman Empire, they helped the humans form civilizations, and they even kicked the asses of the orcs when they tried to attack their continent. But then this Dark Lord called Suros came along, took some elves to the dark side, and made them attack their own kingdom. A big civil war happened, but Eravia survived, they rebuilt it, and now they're stronger than ever. By the way, my favorite champion from the High Elves is the badass Deliana. She's amazing, powerful, and super OP during combat. But enough about the elves. Let's speak about what's new in Raid. This month, we've got Forge Pass Season 3, and it's got some amazing rewards plus a limited edition artifact set. And Raid is bringing some new champions along with some awesome-looking champion skins for the incredible Madame Ceres. And there's more. Later this month, Raid is giving an upgrade to everyone's favorite champion, Death Knight. So say farewell to the old Death Knight because here comes Ultimate Death Knight. So what are you waiting for? This is the best time to get started on Raid. Click the link in the description and scan the QR code right here to get a free epic champion, Taro, 200k silver, 1 energy refill, 1 XP boost, 1 ancient shard, and bonuses worth $30. All the treasure will be waiting for you right here. The rewards will be available only for the next 30 days and only for new players. Now let's get back to the video. Number 9, Harem in the Labyrinth of Another World.
よろしいのですか？
まあ、見られて困るものでもないだろうし。
はい。
Well, the title speaks for itself, so there's no point in explaining what the premise of the show is. If you're going to watch this show expecting a well-structured story with some of the greatest characters ever written, then this isn't the show for you. For those who want what you see in the tags, then this anime delivers you everything you need. And it's one of those with great power comes great amount of idol-level girls type of show that everyone likes to watch.
すみません。ありがとうございます。
よろしくな。
はい。ですが一つ、謝らなければならないことがあります。
So, what should you measure when it comes to shows like these? The animation. Most harem shows just escape with some bad animation, but this one's an exception. You've got some nice art and animation, plus a story that you've seen 7 billion times, so why don't you give this one a go? Number 8, In Another World with My Smartphone.
いえ、用があるのはそちらの彼女たちで。
私たち？
その角を金貨1枚で僕に売ってもらえないかと。
Nope, don't worry, the main character isn't reincarnated as a smartphone, but guess what? This time, it's all God's fault. God, who accidentally kills 15-year-old Toya Mochizuki, decides to send him to another world with his smartphone.
これどうかな、リンゼ。報酬もそこそこだし、出始めにいいんじゃない？悪くないと思う。
So, what's special about this smartphone? Can you FaceTime people? Well, nope, but this one makes your new iPhone look like generic garbage. It gives him superpowers, agility, new abilities, and of course, girls. God also increases Toya's magical and physical strength. Now, Toya begins his journey on this fantasy world and befriends many allies, which are mostly female, of course.
ありがとうございました。
僕は望月東也。
望月？珍しい名前ね。
名前が東也で、望月は名字。
So, the moral of this story is that if you want girls, you need to have a way to overpower smartphone first. Number 7, How a Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom.
まさか本当に召喚されるとはの。
何事もやってみるものですな。って、おい。
Remember the days when you were playing a game like Civilization or Age of Empires and thought, you know what, gods of anime? It would be cool if we had an anime where one guy manages a kingdom. And finally, your prayers have been answered. Instead of going through the regular Japanese RPG route, this light novel author takes an appreciation similar to the Civilization game series. You have a kingdom, you improve it, simple as that.
おい、今入ってきたの。
え？私？
君は文字が読めるか？
バカにしないで。それなりの教育は受けてるわ。
The whole reason this anime becomes trending is because of its refreshing concept. Instead of giant battles that take up tons and tons of budget, here we have a guy trying to manage a kingdom. And that includes managing taxes, keeping the citizens happy, and ensuring this blonde girl who looks like another copy of Saber falls in love with him. Simple as that. Number 6, trapped in a dating sim.
結婚させてあげるだけでもありがたいと思いなさい。
嫌です。お断りします。
お黙りなさい。三男風情が。男なら家のために働くのが道理でしょ。
Once again, the title speaks for itself. There is the guy who is forced to play an otame game, and after finishing it, he tries to walk down his apartment staircase, then falls down, hits his head, dies, and gets reincarnated in the game he used to play. How'd that happen? How is it possible? Why don't you just stop asking questions and start watching the anime?
私にはもう力がない。
何か勘違いしてません？俺が公爵家に取り入ろうとでも？
But this time, our isekai world has a twist. What would it be like to be thrown into a game where almighty powerful ladies rule the world and only beautiful men have a chance to earn their attention? Nope, this is not a reverse isekai. Here, our main character is the only guy who gets the girls. Oh, and there's a giant robots too, so if you need a mecha adventure, action, fantasy, isekai, romance anime, then this is the show for you. If you need a shorter version of the story, you can check my second channel for a recap. Number 5, Our Last Crusade or The Rise of a New World.
無敵の盾諦めなさい。
諦めるだって。
ここで諦めたら誰がこの戦争を止めるんだ！
This is the 2020s Enemies Become Lovers anime. It's about a boy named Isuka and a girl named Elise who are in a world shattered by the war between two forces, the Empire and the nebulous Sovereignty. Isuka's ambition is to fight and prevent the war. At the same time, Elise wants to destroy the Empire and unite the world under the banner of the nebulous Sovereignty. The two have opposing ideals, but when they meet, they realize a lot in common.
大丈夫？
ありがとう。
From the outside, it might look like it's two overpowered characters trying to kill each other, but there's more to it than that. For one, the animation's pretty great, and there's a cool magic system here as well. If you loved Lord Marksman vs. Venadis, or need a more modern version of it, then this is the show for you. Number 4, the Saint's magic power is omnipotent.
すみません。ちょっとお散歩中で面白いなと思って。
面白い。そうですか。どうぞご自由にご覧になってください。
Remember those isekai guys who got kicked out of the kingdom? I'm looking at you, Shield Hero. Perhaps all these guys should take advice from this girl. Similar to many characters on this list, Sai Takanashi finds herself thrown into a fantasy world, but this time as a holy maiden. But she immediately is kicked out because she was summoned as a spare. Do you think she would be depressed? Nope. She decides to devote her time to research.
今日は本当にありがとうございました。いろいろなお話が聞けて楽しかったです。ジュードさん。
ジュードでいいですよ。
Once again, this isn't one of those anime with tons and tons of action. The story revolves a lot around the characters and dialogue, and it gives off the wholesome slice of life vibe you don't get in any isekai shows these days. Instead of a generic female fantasy warrior, we got a smart girl who likes research unlike you. There's some great romance here too, so make sure to check it out. Number 3, My Next Life as a Villainess.
こんにちは、ジオルド様。魔力の訓練のため土と対話をしているのですわ。それには畑作りをするのが一番かと思いまして。
Need a villainess in your isekai? Well, here we have a girl who's reborn as the villain of the story. Seems like an interesting take on an isekai concept, doesn't it? Now, our protagonist, Katarina, should do everything within her power to stop her from becoming the final villain of the game.
し庭を案内するわ。ありがとうございます、カタリナ様。
Just because I said villainous, don't go expecting a female version of Eren Yeager. Most of the show's pretty fun, lighthearted comedy you can watch when you're tired of heavy action shonen shows. I also need to mention this is a reverse harem anime, so if that isn't your type, you better stay away from this one as well.
可愛い弟ができたのにお尻で殺してしまうなんて。カタリナ姉さん、よかったです。
In terms of isekai elements, this has the good old noble girls academy trope, and even though the final villain felt a bit too lame, Katarina can be a really interesting main character. Number 2, the world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat.
あなたは世界最高の暗殺者でありながら、間抜けにも自分が暗殺されたのです。
いろいろと説明してもらっていいか。
Alright, here comes another original premise. When the world's greatest assassin finds himself betrayed and backstabbed by the very organization that he had sworn allegiance to, his frustration causes him to have an audience with a goddess that appreciated his exceptional skill. The goddess ends up giving him another chance at life by reincarnating him in a world of swords and magic with one goal in mind: save the world from destruction by killing its hero.
つまり今の記憶はキー。 知識と経験を残して新たな人生を Let's enjoy!
What I really liked about this main character is his anti-hero personality and the do not give a damn attitude, and he even gets the girls much more easily than the rest of the anime protagonists I spoke about. And the opening of the show is also a banger, so make sure to check this one out. Number 1, banished from the hero's party.
ありがとうリタ。
あ、どういたしまして。
Before speaking about this anime, I need to mention its full title. It's I was kicked out of the hero's party before I wasn't a true companion, so I decided to have a slow life at the frontier. I guess that explains the premise. There's a hero, he gets kicked out from the party, but he gets to live in the countryside with a princess. Wait, you didn't hear the last part? Well, this guy lives with a princess, something that's not going to happen in your life.
なんでレッドが一緒にいんの？
まあいろいろあってだな。
私レッドの家に住むことにしたの。それでベッドを買いに来たのよ。
This also is one of those anime where the writers don't take a whole season to establish the romance. The show pretty much tells how much of a great chemistry these two have. There's also a little love triangle going on, but it doesn't come until the last few episodes. Even if you don't like the story, just go for Rit. This girl is the perfect sidekick anyone could have.